Welcome back to This is Futbol. Hit like, subscribe, smash the bell. And yes, we are back on Spotify, so follow us there too. I'm here with my co-host, the man I argue with the most, but trust the most as well, Nico Bravo. What's up, man? How's it going?
What's up, brother? How's it going? Everything's good. Ready to get going.
Glad to hear. Glad to hear. Well, this is what we're going to be covering today. Messi misses practice, then comes back to practice today. Talk a little bit about what's going on there. Then we're going to get into the MLS playoffs as they are underway with the games tonight of the wild card, and they'll be underway tomorrow with the rest of the MLS playoffs. And then we're going to talk about a little bit of the soap opera behind the Barcelona Villarreal Miami game getting canceled, who messed up, and why it matters. Stay to the end because Nico and I are going to give our bold picks for Miami Nashville and the one twist that could flip the entire series. All right, what do you say? Let's get into it. Messi first. Is this actually an injury or just precaution? What we're hearing is up next. All right, Nico, here's my take on this. Messi knows how to manage his body better than anybody, right? Some days you got to push it. Some days you just got to shut it down. And Tuesday was exactly that. Just a day off for the GOAT. Because it's Messi, everything gets put under a microscope and minor little things become headlines with everybody in the world. So the bottom line is that there's really nothing to see here. That's my opinion. I think you just got to chalk it up to load management and him just clearing his mind to get it ready for Nashville on Friday. What do you think?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's load management. There's nothing else to it. There was a lot of speculations. The reports came out saying that Messi's back is hurt. Yeah, well, his back is hurt probably from carrying the team throughout the whole season. So that's the injury that he probably has. But nothing there. Nothing there. Let's get moving. Messi will be ready for Friday and he'll be ready for the series.
All right, that's it on Messi. A quick little update. Not much else to say. The load is managed. His head is going to be clear. And like Nico said, he'll be ready for Friday. Let's talk some MLS Cup playoffs next. All right, baby. Friday night, Inter Miami versus Nashville again. Miami just beat them this past weekend. And since Messi arrived, Nico, Nashville still hasn't beaten Miami. Every number points our way for game one at Chase Stadium on Friday night. But can Nashville play the spoiler? Absolutely. If they turn it into a grind, they slow the tempo down a little bit, create some set piece opportunities, get to those second balls, and Hani Mukhtar gets one of those punches in transition, that's right up their lane. And I think that they can get the job done. But I think Miami's going to win this game. I'm going to give my prediction a little bit later. What do you think about Friday? What do you think about what do you think the play is on Friday night?
Yeah, no, definitely. If Nashville somehow gets to do what they did on the first half of last game against Miami, then we're in trouble. We're in trouble because they were finding the gaps, they were finding the counterattacks, and they hurt us really, really well. We were able to come out of that first half and then turn the notch on the second half, with a great performance by Messi. But it's going to take that. It's going to take great performances from big players for us to beat a team like Nashville. Nashville is a well organized team. And I don't see anything different. I don't see anything different from last game. Miami's going to have to be ready. I think they will because going in, like we talked about last episode, going into these playoffs, they're coming in a little bit more confident, a little bit more of knowing what's at stake, knowing how this 3-game series um develops, which, by the way, this is stupid. Can we just get rid of this? Best of 3 series is dumb. MLS, please, let's get rid of this and go back to regular format. It's nonsense. But yeah, I see Miami getting the job done this Friday.
I agree. I agree with you. For me, for Miami, it's very simple, right? They need to start fast. That's something that they've done some games, the games that they've done so, they have capitalized on opportunities in the first half and put the game away early. They need to start fast, something that they didn't do, like you said, in the last game against Nashville, but something that if they do in this game, and in addition to that, they have organized defense and they don't do any dumb fouls around the box to create those set piece opportunities for Sam Surridge to get ahead on it. And they make them defend width so that Messi can slice the middle of the field like he did in that second half over the weekend. I think those will be the keys for Miami to take all 3 points in the first game of this first round series.
Yeah, yeah, and it's important for them to set the tempo early as far as the series goes. You want to win that first game because you put Nashville against the ropes. They have to go back home and decisively win that game. They can't get any other results. Yeah, maybe a tie. A tie still keeps them in the series, I think, right?
They will go to penalties.
They will go to penalty. So there you go. So we want to get that. We want to get this series done early. How do you get it done early? Taking care of business at home.
100%. Put the pressure all on Nashville to take care of business on their home field at Geodis Park when they play the following weekend. But let's step a little bit away from Inter Miami. Let's play a little round of who's your pick. I have the MLS playoff bracket up on the screen. And Nico and I, we're going to go around the horn here. We're going to do a little rapid fire and give our winner of every first round series. And then we'll revisit it in a couple weeks when the first round is over and see how we did. So let's start off quickly, Nico. Let's go from west to east. Let's start off with the first round matchup on the top left there. Vancouver, FC Dallas, the 2 versus 7. Who do you have going through?
Game, this series, Vancouver goes through.
I agree. I think Vancouver goes through. Even though they lost to FC Dallas on decision day, I agree. Vancouver goes through. Now the next series, LAFC against Austin, 3 versus 6 in the West. I have LAFC going through.
I'm gonna go with the upset here. I think that Austin could do some damage to LAFC, and that will be the biggest upset of the season.
Absolutely, especially with the signing of Heung-min Son and Denny Buanga having a great last month of the season. I agree. That would be a huge, huge upset. All right, 4 versus 5, Minnesota United versus Seattle Sounders. My pick is Seattle, the 5 seed, beating Minnesota, the 4 seed.
Same. I'm going with Seattle. Seattle has playoff pedigree, and they're gonna go through.
Even though I don't know if you heard, but your boy De La Vega is out for the season. I believe he tore everything he
Huge.
had in his knee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge for them. But it's Seattle.
All right, last matchup on the Western Conference side. San Diego, the number 1 seed, will go against the winner of the Portland Real Salt Lake game that is being played currently. I have San Diego going through as the 1 seed. I don't think anybody upsets them.
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of reports coming out that Chucky Lozano was separated from the team due to some altercations with the coach and the coaching staff. So I don't know if that locker room is good to go. Maybe we can see an upset here. Highly doubt it, but we'll leave maybe like a 10%.
All right, perfect. All right, let's go quickly into the Eastern Conference. We're going to go the number 1 seed versus the number 8 seed Chicago Fire, who just beat the Orlando City Lions 3-1 in that wild card spot. I have the Chicago Fire upsetting Philadelphia in this 1 versus 8 matchup. Look, man, I think Greg Berhalter has this team believing again, and I think they could offer the upset here.
Yeah, I can see an upset happening. However, I'm pulling for Philadelphia to do the work.
All right. Let's get into that 4-5 matchup. Charlotte versus New York City FC. This is a tough one because you have turf versus a tiny field. The 2 teams are the sky blue. I'm gonna go with Charlotte here. I don't know why, but I just feel like they're gonna go through.
Same. However, I feel like this is one of the series that goes to 3 games.
Oof, that's good. All right, I'm gonna save the Inter Miami one for the last. I think in the 2 versus 7, Cincinnati versus Columbus. Unfortunately for the Columbus Crew fans, I think Cincinnati goes through in this first round.
That's Cincinnati as well.
All right, Inter Miami versus Nashville. And while we're here, I'm going to give my prediction for Friday night's game. I believe Inter Miami will take it 4-2. And I believe Inter Miami will take the series in 2 games and move on to the next round.
I think Miami wins Friday 2-1, and They close it out on Monday, I believe it is, or Tuesday, in penalties.
Oof. Oof. All right. In penalty. So those are our first round picks. And Nico, let's turn it to the fans, to the listeners. I want you guys to drop your first round picks in the comments. And while you're at it, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss next week's victory laps or roast. Depends on how these games turn out. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
We'll see.
All right, let's pivot. Let's jump to the off-field drama. The Barcelona Villarreal game, slated for Hard Rock Stadium in December, is off. What happened? Who pulled the plug and why it matters for Miami's soccer calendar? We're going to unpack all that next. All right, here we go. Barcelona Villarreal game at Hard Rock Stadium in December has been officially canceled. Complete curveball for me. Maybe not for other fans, but look, Nico, fans had already had travel plans booked, hotels booked, and now, boom, all this is gone. What happened?
Yeah, it's simple. There was a lot of backlash from players last weekend. There was a lot of players protesting. Uh, every single captain of every single La Liga team pretty much uh, agreed to protest against this game. You know, it's a game that unfortunately doesn't have a good taste on real fans of their country, of players, of directives, and because of the backlash, the sponsors pulled out, and once the sponsors pull out, nothing left for La Liga to do. You know, they got to cancel the game and go back home.
Look, for me, even if it was an official La Liga match, to me, canceling that Barcelona Villarreal game in Miami was the right call, right? I don't think that this was anything based on innovation, moving a game, a league game out of the country to another country. And to me, it's you just can't do that, right? You can't fly these two squads across the Atlantic for one game and
Yeah, but
pretend that it means anything.
yeah, but so you're saying that it has no sportsmanship. It's not. It doesn't bring It, it doesn't keep the um, the prestige of a league or of a team. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. And not only that, I'm
Okay.
talking even about the fans too, because los socios over there pay all year to see these games at their home field. And then you're just going to say, hey, we're going to take this game and move it to another country. So screw you on you
I
what you
mean,
paid.
yeah, but it's just one game. A team like Villarreal that doesn't have a lot of income when it comes to selling out stadiums because of how small their stadium is. It's like a 20,000 seater, 25,000 seater. For them having to have an important match like Barcelona be played here in Miami would have been huge for them as far as revenue goes. Even the president came out saying that he would personally fly every single socio to Miami with no cost so that they can watch the game here. That's how much money they were making.
Unbelievable the type of money that they're making. But again, I still stand by it. I think it's ridiculous to have these players take a 10-hour flight from Spain all the way to Miami for one game when they have
Yeah, but
Champions
it was the
League,
last
when they
game.
have
Yeah,
league.
but right. But it was the last game prior to their break. So they were going to go on a 10-day break after that game. So it really didn't hurt them. Most of those players will go travel to their countries anyways. So it's like a shorter trip to, I don't know, Brazil or maybe Colombia or whatever. Or even if they stayed, vacationing in Miami, they could have just spent a few days here.
All right. I get what you're saying. You're still not going to convince me, but you make a decent point on the argument. So, any
You want
last
to
words?
globalize, you want to globalize this league, that's the way to do it. There's no other way. You have to take the product that you make, the best one, and take it to other fans and other areas. You know, all those fans want to see those teams play relevant games. They're not watching them play relevant games when they're coming over here during their preseason and playing irrelevant games against America, Chivas or any other MLS teams. That's not good for them. Fans want to see their teams play league games, Champions League, and all that. And unfortunately, it's really, really expensive for some people to travel all the way to the other countries, to Spain, to Europe, to be able to watch those games. So just once, I don't think it would have hurt the league.
All right. That's what Nico had to say. Unfortunately, that is the episode. If you rocked it with us to this point, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss the next drop. A little bit more of Messi, a lot more of Miami, and as always, as much football as possible coming up on This is Futbol. So for Nico and for myself, nos vemos.
Go.